First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakodash, Thawadi Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, for allowing me to do another video through the Spirit. Thawadi Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, for giving us His truth as worms. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and salutation and blessings to the hopeful elect. I just want to do this quick lesson. I'm not going to go too in depth into the Genesis chapter 1 about how man came about. But just to say, man came out of the waters. And the Lord eventually chose a particular man called Adam and a particular woman called Eve to bring forth Seth, or to bring forth Cain and Abel. But there was people on the planet Earth before Cain and Abel. This is how you even got Eve. Because the whole Genesis 1 breaks it down. The man and the woman both came out of the water at the same time. They both came out at the same time, and the Lord chose to give His knowledge and understanding to a particular group of people called the Adamites. It's because at the beginning there was 3 classifications of men: the sons of the wicked, the sons of man, and the sons of God. And then it touches on a particular family line going off the line of Adam, Abel being slain, so it went unto Seth, and so on and so forth. That righteous line that continued all the way up until Noah, which was the only line that survived the destruction. The Noah's line, the sons of God line, continued through Noah and went down unto who? Shem. And then the other nations came out of who? From all the other nations descend from either 3 men, Shem, Ham, or Japheth. But through Shem, the righteous line, which eventually came back as Jacob, later whose name was changed to Israel, that line and the promise went unto them. Everybody else, it bypassed. It bypassed Ishmael. It bypassed Elam. It bypassed the 6 sons of Keturah. It bypassed all of them. But that promise continued in Abraham. It went from Noah, Abraham, Isaac, unto Jacob, and to Jacob's 12 sons. There was more, and I say all that to say, this is how you get people now. But in the beginning, there was more than just Adam and Eve on the planet Earth. That was madness. But these Christians are watching, because I've never in my 29 years of my life heard a Christian say anything about there being more people on the planet Earth than Adam and Eve. It's because they're watching us. They want to act like they're not, but they are.
Hey, quick question. Where did all the other people in Genesis come from? Are you talking about all of the other people that whenever Cain took the life of his brother, he was afraid that they were going to take his life as well? Yeah, because then Cain had a wife and Seth had a wife. So where did they come from? Yeah, so all of those people came from Adam and Eve. But we only see Cain, Abel, and Seth. We see those 3 after the fall.
And they didn't particularly come from the specific man, Adam and Eve, per se. But Adam did have other children other than just Abel, Seth, and Cain. Because when you go down, it says that he had sons and daughters. So, Adam was as they were called, the Adamites, which means simply from the ground or from the earth.
But the Bible does say that they had many other sons and daughters. Why doesn't it tell us about them? Because it's implied, and a lot of people just look over it. What do you mean?
And it is implied. Because who wrote the book of Genesis? Moses. And he received it in the mount, in the chariot, when he was up there. And it's a very abridged version of the beginning. It gives you just enough details so you can get it. But if you don't have the Spirit, you're not going to get it. But now you Christians are just following along and listening and still breaking things down wrong. but trying to put your own Christian twist to it.
Caused the fall? Eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? Correct, but more specifically, why was that? Because God commanded them not to. Which means the fall was because they disobeyed God? Exactly,
And it's more than just the disobedience. That philosophy, because it wasn't just a fruit, that philosophy that the serpent came with, that to Eve, that was a certain philosophy. It was a way of life. And that way of life will lead to destruction, just as it has. And we see that fruit to this very day. That fruit has grown up even to this very day. But it wasn't a literal fruit, and it wasn't a literal snake. It was a cunning man who had a particular way of. The nigga said, "Oh, you won't surely die." Yeah, sure we won't. But what they took hold, they that take hold of it do die, and Eve and Adam eventually took hold of this particular way of life, which we see to this day. And look how much wickedness that is brought forth. Actually, let me grab that real quick. This is 2nd Esdras. Second Esdras 4 and verse 20. Verse 30, it says, "For the grain of evil seed." Now, is there a literal grain that was sown in Adam? No. It's not literal. It's parabolic. "For the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. And how much ungodliness have it brought up unto this time, and how much shall it yet bring forth into the time of threshing come?" So right there, that grain of wickedness has grown up in Adam, that taken part of that fruit. Look how much evil it has brought up to this day. Disobedience, witchcraft, believing astray from the ways of Yahweh by Shemal Shai.
Obeyed him by eating the fruit that they were not allowed to. Okay, but how does that answer my question? What was the first commandment that God gave to Adam and Eve? To have dominion over the entire earth. No, the first commandment that he ever gave to them was to be fruitful and multiply. Wait.
And if you think everybody on the planet Earth, there was billions of people on the planet Earth during the time of Adam and Eve. It just wasn't them two having sex, creating everybody. That's impossible. No, there was multiple people on the planet Earth other than just Adam and Eve. But a particular righteous line came out of Adam. This is why the Bible focuses on them so much.
Wait, they had kids before the fall. Yes, and we see that clearly implied. But how is that implied though? Like I kind of get what you're pointing to, but how?
And just to say, I'm sorry I keep doing this, but the fall is what? The fall of the sons of God. The chosen line, the ones that were meant to bring forth righteousness on the planet Earth, to lead the planet Earth in righteousness. This is why they were given particular powers, attributes, immortality, but the Lord stripped them of all that. Even Wisdom of Solomon said it. So Solomon even said it, that man was made to be immortal. What particular man? The sons of God, the ones who had righteousness. Because if you are 100% righteous with no evil in you, there is no reason for you to die. Death comes through sin alone. This is why the heathens will always die in the kingdom of heaven, because they will still have sin within them.
Well, if they didn't immediately start popping out babies, then that would have been the disobedience that caused the fall. Okay? And when Eve did sin, God said that he was going to increase her pain in childbearing. Increase. Yep. That means that there was already at least a level of discomfort for there to be an increase in her pain, which would imply that she was having babies before the fall happened. That's crazy. We have no idea how long they were actually in the garden for prior to the fall, but it could have been a very long time. Well, Adam had said when he 130 years of him having babies that were then popping out babies that were then popping out babies? Or what? Or his age was never counted until the fall when he started aging. Okay, that would make sense because they were designed to be immortal. They were not designed to die. And sin entered the world, and death is the result of that sin. So most of these people in these surrounding villages and surrounding cities, these were the pre-fall children of Adam and Eve. Yep. And God did command them to subdue the earth, not just the garden. Dude, that just blew my mind. Yeah, and the other thing that'll kind of blow your mind with all of that, just the last final thing, is that most people will say, well, then they wouldn't have been affected by sin, but that's just biblically illiterate. See, us having that original sin, that inclination to sin, that's not hereditary. You see, it even says that whenever they sinned, whenever Adam and Eve sinned, that is whenever plants started to grow thorns. That is whenever animals started to die. Sin affected everything and everyone who was already on earth. They sinned, they brought sin into the world, and everyone who is currently alive was instantly affected. Hey.
There was sin in the world still, just to say, because the other nations would have been sinning. I don't know where he just got all that extra stuff from. That plants and life were affected. I don't say that in Genesis. But I just want to grab this. Let me close off. These Christians are watching, and we know you're watching, and we know that you're taking notes and that you're putting doctrine together. And some of it you're like, damn, these Hebrew Israelites are right, and some of it you're like, oh, they're wrong. But we know you're watching. This truth has changed the entire fabric of the planet Earth, man. So I just want to get this. This is 2 Corinthians 10 and verse 4. It says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringeth into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach, which is Yahushai, and having in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. So yeah, we know that you guys are watching. We know that this truth has heavily affected not only the Christian doctrine, but all doctrines on the planet Earth. Now all the Christians are rethinking their beliefs and going back and looking. It's too late, man. The Hebrew Israelites were right. And as the elders in Chicago say, Jeremiah was the first to say it, or at least is the first he heard say it. The GMS has forced the world to read the Bible again. And look at y'all reading the Bible like, oh, they are right. Oh, well. And if we're right about one thing, just imagine what else we're right about. So, Lord, I hope this lesson is edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakodash. With that, shalom.